Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equities Story. I'm with the Wolf, and this is just general share advice and not personal advice, as per this disclaimer you can read, which is beautifully presented there. Okay, now Wolf, why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Oh, I just love that way you talk right in the morning. It's like you're half asleep.
Now we got interest rates going up today. Come on, what's your bet? Seeing you owe me.
No, you owe me a beer. I'm
say-
fairly boring today. I'm going to go straight in the middle and go 0.25 up. I mean, there's talk that it might not go up. It might go 0.5, but let's go down the center and go 0.25.
All right, I'll go 0.5. See if you owe me another beer. All
right.
Just for the sake of argument. The reason, Wolf, that possibly could go a little bit higher, just to try. Often, if they raise rates a little bit harder earlier on, is that better for? Does it pull the reins in a little bit quicker?
Maybe. I mean, look, the fear, the shock factor, I suppose, could be significant when you do that. And I don't think the market needs a shock factor at the moment. I think we need steady hands and guide us through over the next 6 months to see how we go. And I think, look, if I look at it, the best scenario for me is incremental rises by 0.25 every month or two, right? Until we get maybe to 1%, 1.5%, somewhere there, and see where we are at the end of the year.
All right, Wolf, we've got five stocks that put out announcements today. It's actually 7, but just give me a buy, hold, and sell on them all. Let's keep it. SXE. This is one of our dividend plays. Very strong announcement. Holding above trend, 8% dividend. Buy, hold, or sell.
You buy that. You always, well, when I say always, you tend to get very attracted. This is like a moth to a light to upgrades, right? That's how I'm attracted to these things. Now, another one today from SXE. I know there's a big risk with this, right? Is that the fact is they are contractors, so the margins are very thin, and we know that the current unemployment rate is pretty low, and we've got inflationary pressures potentially. So if they don't play it well, they're potentially costs, like for example, where the workforce can jump and the margins completely suffer, right, and collapse. So there's the big danger. But if they play it well, this looks, you've got a great dividend. You've got a story that's really delivering on all cylinders. So you are buying this.
All right, and it looks good. And this is one of our dividend plays, and now giving out a nice little grossed up 8% plus. PRN, Wolf, major contract win, 512 million, with a big gold miner. It's poked his head up above the water level. Buy, hold, or sell, or maybe just wait to see if it does a little bit more.
Wait, I think you wait into the week. There's 3 things today in an announcement. The first one was an update of its operations, and that was pretty good. Second of all, the contract win, which was 500 million at Cal, which is, I think, Newcrest. So that's a big project. And thirdly, they are doing a buyback, right? Another big one. So that's going to definitely help the share price. So from, again, a contractor, mining contractor, margins are going to be fairly thin. So they're going to watch their projects and the costs. But with this one, I suppose you just go on a way to, because it's just still not quite there yet. It's just had a jump today. I think maybe just wait till the end of the week and see where it's at.
Well, OCC, really fascinating product here. Now, this cell basically repairing nerves that have been damaged, getting a roughly around a sort of 70% success rate, which is really interesting. And you can see the potential of this product is huge. And I think most of us who actually listening to this video will have some, especially when you're getting over 40, some back issue or nerve issue, and there's always something somewhere, or some hand injury. And you can see the potential with OCC. It could be absolutely huge. So technically, it's sort of in a range, isn't it? Technically, you wanted to do a little bit more, and I suppose you're in that camp. It's neither a buy, hold, or sell at the moment. You just maybe another few quarters, Wolf.
Yeah, look, I think this is just a story to follow because it seems like a good story to follow, right? It's just a nice company that's trying to work on something very, very important. That is, trying to get the nerves, ligaments back working again or regenerating them. So yeah, of course, I don't think I'll be buying now at all, but I just want to follow the story because it's a feel-good story, and I want to see where it gets to. And if it starts trending, then maybe we'll pounce. But for the moment, let's just listen to all the announcement and let's see how it goes, because I just love the story.
BGL, a little possible gold, future gold producer.
Yep.
Technically, it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
How close are you to being interested in this one, Wolf?
I'll tell you what, I spoke about this many moons ago when they come up first with the DFS, and you love everything about it except one single thing, which is the most important thing, and that's the price they use for the DFS. And they use the price. And again, today they reiterated that. So, while everything looks good and they're talking about robust economics and right? The biggest thing for me is the gold price they used. And they used a gold price of $2,500 Aussie. Now, it doesn't give you much wiggle room, right? I mean, if the gold price goes back by $200 US dollars, I mean, this is already, you're scared. You're probably going to see this collapse. That's the problem with it. They haven't given themselves room to breathe with the price of gold that they used in the project. I mean, that's the biggest risk for me here. So high risk. Well, I love everything about it. High grades. Over 1 million ounces. All those sort of things. But the project economics are based on a really up their price, where if it doesn't sustain it over the next 12 to 24 months when they start producing, it's going to be under pressure. It's not going to come up with the numbers that they talked about in the DFS.
Yeah, you would think there'd be a much better regulation on DFSs where they would say every company that does DFS has to take like an average price over the last 10 years.
I wish there was a standard like that, Dave. I mean, it's a great idea.
Well, you're
a genius sometimes, I have to say.
Well, ASX, are you listening? There should be something like that, because otherwise,
like a body out there, right? Saying, okay, guys, for the next, I don't know, 3 months, use this price, gold price in your DFSs. I don't know. I mean, is it possible to implement something like this? Maybe.
Well, it has to be, because you've got to have stuff protecting mums and dads, haven't you, from reading very bullish announcements, which are not really so. Yeah. So that's for us is an avoid at the moment. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Wolf. Why am I the first person to ever think about this?
Because
or do you think someone they've actually have thought about it and they thought, no, that's way too
It's a wacky idea, because gold price is volatile and unpredictable and no one knows what the price will be, but there is some merit to it when you think about it. If there's a standardized way of everyone using the same price, you won't get all these companies using the numbers to make the project look better.
All right, PPE, Wolf, people infrastructure.
Yes.
I mean, generally speaking, horrible markets held up okay. Again, the announcement was okay, but technically it's just boring. I wouldn't be buying it. ESS, nice little uranium hits.
There were lithium hits, actually.
Lithium hits.
Yep. And they're actually quite good. If you look at them, and I'm just going to open up the actual announcement. I had it open, but I've closed it somewhere. But you're looking at 19 meters at 1.44, 10 meters at 1.4, 24 meters 1.2. So, around that between 1 and 1.45, it's decent. It's getting up there. If they can average around that 1.3 plus, then you're really looking at a nice, decent project.
Okay, let's have a look at this one, Wolf. So if you look at the market cap, 126 million, could you see this bouncing off trend?
I could, as long as the lithium price and the lithium FOMO is still there. Yes.
Okay.
That's difficult. That's difficult to predict. We know that the FOMO is still there. Now, it had a bit of a shakedown from that Goldman Sachs report, but it's still, I suppose, overall there. It was a first stumble, but
that report's been absolutely hammered by a number of people, since it's. I think it's upset quite a few people. What
Not surprisingly, because every second man has got some sort of stake in that space.
STA, Strandline.
Yes.
What did you think of this one?
Look, you got to give it some credit here, where they are 75% complete. So this is going to be another mineral sands / rare earths producer coming online. This is at Coburn in WA.
Okay, Wolf, let's go back. Just give, because this says it's got critical minerals, it's got zircon, titanium, and it's got rare earths. Give us a little bit of you've already lectured me about on this all this morning, and I've learned a lot. So just help the members of Equity Story. Explain a little bit like mineral sands and how it's connected with rare earths and how it all works.
Okay, so mineral sands is basically a combination of a few different minerals, and it makes it in different, I suppose, concentrations. Just like rare earths is made of like 20-something minerals itself or elements. Mineral sands itself, it's also a composition of various minerals. Now, majority of it is zircon. Then you've got ilmenite in there, and then you can have a number of other things like monazite, which is a mineral that contains rare earths, right? So they talked about very different things potentially in there. To be honest, I haven't seen what the concentrations of these things are, but if you look at base, if you look at Iluka, if you look at some other potentials like SFX, they're all different concentrations. Some of it will have more zircon, less ilmenite. Some of them have got more, just a different combinations of different things. So it also depends what the pricing of this is. It will make up a basket of prices, and you'll have a better or worse project depending what you might have as your total mineral sands. Of course, grades and everything else, all that matters as well. So all in all, look, it's nice to have a lot of these different things, especially the high value type stuff. And I think for high value for me right now is the rare earths, right? That's the one that's flying right now. So that's why they've been mentioning that in their announcements. And potentially that could give them a good kick moving forwards. Now, I know the majority, I'd say, would be their zircons and other things that they've got in there, titanium and some of the other stuff. Titanium is another part of it. So, it's a good project. By the looks of things, I'm looking at the pre-tax NPV 705 at 70 cents using 8% discount. It's in Australia, so I can accept that. Market cap at the moment, 400 million odd. If it becomes a miner, right? So it's 75% complete. If it becomes a miner in the next six months, and I think they're talking about the second year of FY22, sorry, CY22, which is a calendar year 22, which is in the next 6 months, you're probably going to see a re-rate of some kind to this. We've seen some re-rates already happen on some other companies. They become miners. So I'm expecting the same for this. And we know the Iluka has been going quite well. We know that this space is actually going quite well. So if it can continue on this line, then I'd say Strandline's looking all right. So I like the chart, Dave. I think there's an opportunity maybe to, follow the chart. And if it starts moving up, you jump on, because it's going to get closer to that re-rate once they start producing, and you might make some money on this.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, Wolf. Zircon has a lot of applications, doesn't it? You've got ceramics, foundry sands and coatings, refractories. You've got chemical applications, glass, and a lot of new products emerging R&D. So you can see the demand of zircon possibly holding up quite nicely.
Yeah, and look, you're right. I mean, because it's used in pretty much industrial type usages, it does have a big market to play, right? So for me, it is a nice, and that's why I like Iluka, because it's really one of the biggest mineral sands producers, and it almost controls prices. And when you look at, you ever want to buy anything, right, globally, you think to yourself, if I can have pricing power, or at least get close to the pricing power, you're doing pretty well. You're going to probably do quite well over a long period of time. So that's why I suppose if you're in this space, Iluka's number one, everyone else is number two, but you can still trade them because this space is pretty good anyway.
Oh, Wolf, I'll tell you what I think we've got to do.
What are you going to do?
We'll get a bounce back over 36, say 37 cents.
And
then we're on. We'll buy this.
All right.
But
And it's something nice to follow anyway, right? We just need another 1 or 2 mineral sands producers, and that's good.
so thank you for that, Wolf. There's a few ideas there, and certainly, you know, when you go through it, or this STA Stradline, if you could just bounce back over the 37th, definitely could be an interesting buy. You've got SXE with great dividend, certainly a buy, and PRN OCC, 2 stories really to get on the watch list.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd argue maybe ESS as well, maybe another story from the watch list. So, and again, in the right space, isn't it? Obviously with lithium.
Yes.
And that chart doesn't look too bad, actually, Wolf. I mean, you know, those traders out there could have a nibble at 50.5 and sell it by the end of the week if it went below 48. So
yeah,
maybe a little trend there. So some really good ideas, Wolf. So thank you very much for that. And now there's one story that you're still researching at the moment. This ALO.
There's no rush because the chart is not incredible. But I will have a look at it because I like the space. Of course, travel and leisure at the moment is opening up. But we found another one to have a look at, right? And that was HCW, another one that sort of come on board recently, late last year. And HCW is in the healthcare space, so they own hospitals, they own medical centers, I believe, and childcare centers as well. So it's in that space that it's just a landlord. So it's interesting because the healthcare space is usually a very defensive space. So for me, if I can find something that's just a landlord, doesn't have the, I suppose, the risk with operating these things, hey, it'll probably even better for us. So
and that's actually one of those few spaces that you thought having a Labour government could benefit.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely, because they are ones that want to spend on the people in that space.
All right. On that note, Wolf, thank you very much. Now we've got live tonight, so if you've got any questions or you want to know, is it a buy, hold, and sell? You want us to have a look at the charts? Just please live tonight at 7 o'clock. I think it's the best thing one of the best things we do at Equity Story, Wolf. Live, it just gives everyone a chance to ask us questions. Should I buy, hold, or sell? And 7 o'clock tonight. So be there or
be square.
Be square. All right. Thanks, Wolfie.
Cheers,
see you,
guys.
mate. Bye.